He bought it online,
Right.
and didn't quite live up to expectations.
Right.
He was a bit disappointed with his purchase.
So did you do the usual man in the trade roll their eyes when you hear that line?
Yes.
The off the
Yes.
online?
Always have a Jaguar checked out before you purchase it.
Right.
Always.
Right.
By someone who does Jaguar cars.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to a new Dave's Classic Garage Tours video, and this time I'm at Jag Dane in Melbourne. Another one where the content is all in the title, everything and anything from the brand with the leaper from Coventry. Sit down tools, grab a cuppa, and let Brian take us on a tour of what's in, what's done, and what's to do on these great British classics.
Hey Brian, down in the south of Melbourne now at Jag Dane. It's your business with a partner, I believe?
Yeah, I've got a partner named Bill Madaffrey,
Uh-huh.
and we both run the business now for a while. We did have another partner, but
How long
he
have you been
passed away.
going?
I've been in the trade since I was 15,
Right.
and solely working on Jaguar cars. And I'm 64 now. Birthday in March, I'll be
That's
65.
all right. Happy birthday for that.
Yeah. And so that's a fair few years
Yeah,
in the trade, yeah, for me.
Definitely. And how long's Jag Dane been going?
Nearly 60 years. I started a company called Jaguar,
Right.
and I bought into Jag Dane, but Jag Dane was initially started by a chap by the name of Merv Ryan.
Oh, how you going?
Who started it
Graham.
up first. And then
Graham.
Bill
Just go and
was
grab
my
Bill, will
partner.
ya?
Yeah.
He bought into it, and then I came over and bought into it as well.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've got a lot to go around. First off, once I got over my youthful TR7 obsession as a 7-year-old, then it went on to E-Type. So we've got a V12. What year is this one?
This is a 1973.
Coming a bit closer, Brian.
This
73.
is a 1973,
Oh,
yeah.
right. You wouldn't normally see this sort of colour in.
British racing green.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty common.
But in the later cars.
They've even brought it through into the later vintage eras and things, X300s and those later
for
cars.
sure. But I think I've seen not very often. I see a British racing green one in later cars, or V12s and that. But anyway.
Well, this one was purchased by the owner and had to have a substantial amount of work done on it.
Yeah.
Engine was one, transmission and differential were all overhauled here at the at Jag Dane.
Right. Okay. Was this an Australian delivered car?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So.
It's a pretty original car. He wanted to keep it fairly original.
How long's he had it?
3 years.
All right. Okay.
Bought it about 3 years ago. It was 12 months with us.
Yeah.
To do the initial restoration.
And was it a car you knew before that, or?
No, he bought it online.
Right.
And didn't quite live up to expectations.
Right.
And when it came here, we had to do a substantial amount of work to it.
He
was a bit disappointed with his purchase.
I guess.
But it ended up that we've sorted it out for him.
So did you do the usual man in the trade roll their eyes when you hear that line?
Yes.
Off the
Yes.
online?
Always have a Jaguar checked out before you purchase it.
Right.
Always.
Right.
By someone who does Jaguar cars.
Yeah. I suppose you don't. Does it still suffer the same sort of thing as where, body-wise, it's I would be.
Body-wise, this was pretty good.
Yeah.
It hasn't been repainted. It is its original coat of paint.
What? Are you serious?
And as you can see it up in here, he's got a few of the red primer chips in under there.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Body-wise, unfortunately, the seats are the originals.
Right.
Just underneath, mechanically, wasn't up to scratch.
Okay. That's a bloody good paint, still original. Look at
A
paint,
little
isn't
bit bubbly on the roof if you look close,
Yeah.
but
Originality.
you'd have to look pretty close.
Yeah. And how was the this trim? Is that original?
That's the original trim, yeah.
So how many miles is this? Oh, only what was it back then?
It's in miles.
Yeah.
That's the thing with these cars, you can't really tell. You're looking at only 69,818.
And what do you reckon? First time or?
Well, you can't tell with them. They can just tick over the clock and go back to zero again.
With regard to the accelerator pedal or the bolsters
Oh yeah, well,
whatever.
I think it's probably 169,000.
169,
yeah.
right? Yeah. But what can I see here that's new underneath the bonnet that you've had
Well,
to...
basically we do the engine side of things.
Yeah.
All the rest of it is just the bolt back-ons.
Right.
It's not been re-enamelled or anything like that. It's just he wanted it back to original state.
Yeah.
New heater boxes and those sort of things, heater taps,
Yeah.
heater valves and water things. It has got air conditioning,
Right.
which is a bonus in these because they are pretty hot to drive.
Sure. And it's an automatic. Is that...
Yeah, it is an automatic. We do 5-speed gearbox conversions to them,
All right.
and do all sorts of conversions to these type of cars.
Yeah.
We
Is there
do.
a preference for a manual over here?
It is,
or-
yeah. The manuals are worth probably more money.
Sure.
If the factory manual, which is the 4-speed,
Yeah.
if you bought an E-Type with a factory manual, it's probably worth more than the auto.
Right. Yes.
But I suppose it's driver preference, isn't it?
Sure.
You know?
Depends age of that driver, I guess, as well.
Well, yeah. I keep telling owners that I don't own them. I just fix them.
Right. Lovely as well. She's a cracker, this one. Yeah, she's got well, she's certainly showing well for her age. If she's done 160 and
Yeah.
what's 73, so she's coming up to her well, she's 51 years of age. Yeah, nice car, lovely beauty. Lovely. So we've got a
This is
nice
just
XJS there.
Yeah, that's an early one. We've just got to do some work onto it.
Right, okay, yeah, early. So that's not many of these about. What sort of year would, what, early?
I think this one's about a 77.
All right, okay, 3 years into the run, isn't it?
It's locked at the moment. I'll go and grab
Okay.
some keys.
Okay. So what's going to happen to this? Is it going to be given the
Well, this
sort of
one,
back to factory or a bit more? of a-
this one was handed down
All right,
to the
okay.
son by the father.
Yeah. 77. That is. I mean, these are getting. You know, they're getting appreciated now.
Appreciated, yeah.
More now. I mean, crikey, you pick these up for £2 back home.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Well,
but,
there's not too many of these back home either.
No, there certainly wouldn't be. But yeah, another automatic. Wow. Those seat covers are something to
Yeah.
left to the.
We don't get a choice in owners' preferences.
Right.
This one, as I said, was handed down to the son by the father who passed away.
Right.
And the son asked me whether it was worthwhile getting back up on the road again for him to enjoy as his father did.
Yeah.
It's got more sentimental value, I think, than what the car's worth. So I've got a budget that we can work on and hopefully get him back on the road with a roadworthy and things like that for it.
Right.
But it needs too much to restore back to its original state.
Right. Okay. But it's a good driver, a Sunday runabout.
Yeah,
and,
well, that's
you know,
what the
goes
son wants it for. He gets into it and he thinks of his dad.
Yeah.
You know, and his dad drove it. We're just waiting on an ignition kit to come in for it at the moment.
And
so
Christ
we can.
alive, who wants to run one of these any more than just a Sunday once in a while anyway? Eh?
They're not the most economical car you can drive.
No. But oh god.
But as a 77, it's a pretty good example of it.
yeah.
I've got a better example in next door, which we can go in and have a look at.
But again, you know, just it's something that was sort of disregarded as gauche and you know wasn't as good as the E-Type,
Well,
and now it's
It sat in his father's garage for about 4 years
right.
before he decided what he was going to do to it. And he called me and he said, "What will I do with it? You know, what's it worth and all that sort of thing." And unfortunately, a car of this age is always appreciating,
Yeah.
and they don't really depreciate.
No, well they've done that, haven't they? They bottomed out, and
Yeah, they did.
they certainly did bottom out because But my God, that's just to have something so early of something that would have been scrapped and nobody gave a toss about for God knows how long. But now is that's,
Well, we've got a budget, so we'll try and stick to the budget and see
No.
if we can't get it up and roadworthy for him. But as I said, I've been waiting for probably a month or more just for the ignition kit that we put in.
Okay.
We don't use the illumination anymore as the Jaguar was Opus, Opus electronic.
Okay.
We don't use that anymore. It's a little bit unreliable.
Yeah.
So we try and put something, a Patronic in it that's a bit more reliable.
Okay, cool. So Jag still suffer the same sort of fate as what they would do back in the UK, although...
Well, our problem is the availability of parts these days. And so what we do is we purchase older vehicles that we can take some parts off to use in the workshop to keep other cars back on the road at a reasonable cost. Right. And plus we do sell a fair few front ends, rear ends to hot rod people and things like that.
Right. Oh, they still...
They do, yeah. They still purchase.
Yeah, they sell rear axle and everything like that. Was
the whole rear end and put underneath a hot rod.
Yeah.
We've got an S-Type 90 supercharged S-Type, which is in the latest type of fields. That's about a 2001 that one.
We don't do that. It's 2001. We only got the 1999. The XJ40?
No, we just use that for parts.
Rightio, okay.
But the interesting one is in next door, and that's a prototype from Jaguar.
Oh, all right, okay. Well, let's just have a piddle. Right, this obviously is...
It's one of my employees, he's Porsche.
Okay.
He's putting a Holden V8 engine in it.
Oh, really? Holden?
Yeah.
Crikey, sacrilege.
Get the throwaway Holden motor in it.
Hey, that's probably make it a whole lot more reliable, wouldn't it? From
you know.
And that's another
X300.
scrapper for the take
Another
parts?
scrapper we use for parts, yeah.
Lovely.
Hello there. Before we carry on, I'd just like to ask you a favour. Subscribing to the channel is not only free, it really does help us out. The algorithm works as such that the more you subscribe, the more you comment, the more you like the videos, the more YouTube pushes it out so other people can watch it. Remember, it's free. Once you've subscribed, you hit that notification bell, you'll be informed every time I put up a new video. I'd really appreciate your help in keeping this channel going, so please subscribe, like, comment and share amongst your classic car loving friends. And now back to the video.
Okay, so this one came off the lot from Jaguar.
Yeah.
It was taken off the assembly line and it was converted to a 4-speed manual. From what I remember was the Nuremberg show, and it was put out in 1974 as a prototype at the show, and it's come in today to be restored back to its originality.
That's amazing. So how did it end up here then? Or did you just come over for the show from Sydney?
We actually owned this car.
Right.
In the early days, and a chap by the name of Lou Guthrie purchased it and did the history on it and found all the history on it.
Wow. So sorry, which show was it at?
I think it was the Nuremberg show.
Nuremberg show, right, okay. Wow, bit of Jaguar history there.
Yeah, so and it was converted off the line.
Prototype, so is there anything different from the production that you can...
Well, it was an automatic.
Right, okay.
And Jaguar put the manual transmission in it.
Yeah. But everything else?
Yeah, everything else is the same. The bumper bars have been changed over the years.
Yeah. The wheels aren't, they're off there way later XJ, aren't they?
That's what the car would have had on it back in the year.
Well, this really?
Yeah, in the sport rim.
In
74. Yep,
Really?
that's the XJS sport rim.
Oh, that early, that design came. Oh, right. Because I'm thinking of something. Yeah, that's mid-80s, late 80s sort of design.
Yeah.
XJR.
No, that's the wheel that would have come out with.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that.
Well, I think. I'm pretty sure. And this one again, we've done the engine in this, and done a few things to it.
Yeah.
The gearbox, we put new bearings and synchros and everything in it.
And then what will you do? It'd be
it'll eventually be painted back into its stripped down and painted into its original colour, which is this red.
All right, okay.
And it'll be restored with original bumper bars.
And then whose
brought
collection
back.
Is that sitting in, or is it going to go to?
No, it's in Lou Guthrie's collection.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that? See that air intake underneath? Is that?
No, that's all modified.
Yeah, going to say.
Yeah.
I don't see that. Right.
And the bumper bars are modified.
Yeah.
They're not the original. They're all fiberglass.
Right, right.
But we've got facility there to put the originals back on.
Yeah, yeah. You won't change that though, will you? That air intake?
We are.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What, because
We
this
will.
is modified since this. It's not the proto.
No.
Right.
No.
Okay.
That was modified. To look at this car, it looked exactly like the XJS in '74.
Right. Okay.
But only it was converted off the line to a manual.
Okay. And then, do you know the history behind that? Somebody that air intake?
Why they did it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, a guy called Jim French.
Yeah.
Who was a mould maker.
Right.
And he did all of the Kevlar and things like that for some of the V8 supercars.
Yeah, yeah.
And he owned it.
Right.
And then he did the bumper bars and modified the intake.
Okay. Gotcha.
And did those.
Rightio. Cool. Interesting piece of Jaguar history. Lovely. Right. So you've got a fair bit.
Yeah,
here
this
and
is our
there.
spare parts department.
Yeah.
We keep about 18,000 in new spare parts for Jaguar cars on their own.
Wow.
And normally we can get anything that's required. Anyone calls us or gives us a ring.
Yeah.
We can supply them anything from early SS100 right through to the latest model.
Right. Okay. So what's the most common part that goes out the door here? Okay. All right. So let's have a look.
That would
in
have
here.
to be brakes,
In the
I
main
would say.
workshop.
We're very
So
competitive
mainly
on brake
today, by the looks of it,
pads and discs. And things like that.
No?
That old
no.
part that is always
We, mainly
sort of
Well,
original
E
there's,
OEM part.
well, there's one thing it's a
mainly
good
new
story.
stuff in at the
Mark
moment,
II
but we've got a few
Jaguars.
bits and bits. He's over in
I
the corner
never
over there.
ever cease to
okay.
amaze
Well,
me the amount of door seals that we sell
Right.
and window screen seals.
Yeah.
I cannot believe we sell as many as we do each month.
Should we
month
not to
after month.
Australia? Or?
Into Australia.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, month after month, every month. There must be Mark IIs
Where else is
getting
Mark II?
restored everywhere across Australia.
I can't say I see a lot of Mark II.
Well,
around,
that's
is
the
it?
thing. I can't understand where they're all going. So all you people that are bringing Mark II door seals and window seals,
Yeah.
you've got to be doing something with these cars.
Right. Yeah. Crazy.
Yep.
And the what's the unicorn bit of OEM?
The gold?
Yeah. That.
Look, all parts are gold.
Yeah.
Our last factory that we had over in Moorabbin, we reluctantly had to move and change the direction that the company went in. So what we did is we had to scrap container loads of spare parts that we had. And we sent 4 40-foot containers full of parts over to Thailand to be scrapped. And that's the way business is going these days.
That's not something you now regret because people are asking for them, then, or those parts.
No,
or?
it's not viable to keep it.
Right.
You know,
So tell us how is that something in the Jaguar? Area?
every industry.
Every
Yeah.
bit. But, crikey.
Current dismantlers, that's why you've got all these walk-in, you do it yourself, you pick the part,
Yeah.
you take it home, and it's cheap because you've picked it.
Yeah.
It puts people like us out of business.
Right.
You know,
it's not
it's
a bloody
competitive.
lineup of classic Jaguars in those
Oh,
places,
no.
though, is there?
No,
But-
you're
so-
right. We would have had a lot of the early items, but unfortunately, the market to keep a large factory full of that stock piled to the roof, and to maintain it all,
Wow.
it's costly,
Sure.
and it's just not viable to do it.
But so where do you see the market in the restoration of Jags, classic
Yeah.
Jags?
Well, classic Jags is a hard point because it's these days it's the labour rate, which is going to put a lot of people in business doing restorations out of business.
Right.
It's the hourly rate, what we've got to pay mechanics as to what we paid mechanics 6 months ago,
Really? Just
Even
jumping
a
up
year
like
ago.
that?
has jumped dramatically.
Yeah.
So the hourly rate to do a restoration used to be like $85, $90 an hour.
Right.
Well, now it's up to $175,
Holy Jim, really?
and that's all plus GST.
And that's all going to the employee. A lot of that's going to the employee.
Yeah,
They just
and
got-
overheads.
They just won't. Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they just
Taxation.
won't stick around. Yeah.
Taxation comes into it, you know, and the taxes we pay.
Yeah.
It's for small business, it's just killing everyone.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Your land tax your rates that
They just want everything.
Is that a federal government or a state government thing? I think hear about
It's
these.
federal government with taxes.
Right.
But, state government just went through everyone with superannuation.
Right.
Yeah, if you're late in paying, we just got hit by a $8,500 bill because we were a week late on paying our superannuation.
Holy moly. Right. Okay.
You know.
Right. Well, here's the Series 3. This is
it's a 1981.
One of the most beautiful cars ever.
The best riding car you'll ever have too.
Yes. Yeah.
They continually drive like a dream.
Right.
Yeah, they were one of the best cars they ever produced.
You still getting a call for these?
Not so much. That died off in the last, I would say, 5 years.
Right.
XJs.
Yeah.
The next most reliable Jag they probably made was the X300.
Right. Okay.
Which was a brilliant motor car.
Yeah. Yeah.
But after that, since the introduction of the later model, I think it all goes downhill from there.
What's the age range of your customers that are doing the restos or bringing?
Well, look, the restorations these days is mainly from someone who's inherited a car.
Right. Yeah.
There's not too many teens and people like that want to get out and get into a classic car.
I think they're going to be interested in a Japanese piece from at the latest 1990s.
Yeah, that you can ring up and just dial in more horsepower.
Yeah.
You know, and that's unfortunate because the market is dying, and the way it worked was the people that are my age all came into some money when they get a little bit older, in their 50s, and they've always wanted a classic car, so they go out and purchase a Mustang or an old Jag and they put it in their garage and they do it up. And that becomes their everyday driver. Yeah. But the young 18 to 22-year-old in this disposable world, they're not interested in that.
No.
There are the occasional few, but 99%, no. You know, and unfortunately, it's going to be a dying market.
Yeah, for sure.
For everyone.
No, it's a worrying thing, and and they're being constantly bombarded with the fact that these kind of cars kill the world. That
emission controls and things like that. If we're worried about emission controls, some are gnats.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much all I have to say.
Yeah. But these kind of things, the trouble is obviously now with an age of a car, they're not necessarily, the things move on. I mean, it was probably when you were into Mustangs or whatever it was then, the older crowd were probably decrying the fact you weren't into old, 1920s and whatever cars or whatever, saying, oh, it's going to die out or whatever. Things move on generationally, don't they?
They do. The collectibles of yesteryear are not particularly the collectibles of today.
Yeah, sure.
The guys that are out there today are looking for the two-door Monaros and that sort of thing, which are bringing big money. Yeah. Big money.
You mean the early 2000s one?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Them and the earlier Monaros.
Right.
And things like that, the HQs and HJs and all that. Yeah. But these Jags haven't really been appreciated to where they should be. Yeah. You can still pick up a nice Series 3 for $10,000.
Sure.
Yeah. And they're, in my opinion, a better car than the Monaro, but unfortunately haven't kept the price of the Monaro.
No. But Jags never have. They've always bombed as soon as they walked out of the showroom, haven't they? Those prices on them.
They are a bit of a cult following.
Yeah. There is this.
It's a certain,
what is it?
It's like the Volvo driver.
Okay. There is this. What did I say? It's a sporting saloon, so you kind of wonder, and it has got this heritage, and it has, of the beauty of the cars, the E-Type and whatever. So you kind of wonder why do the prices of them just drop?
Well, the E-Type on its 50th anniversary just about doubled in price overnight.
Right.
And it hasn't come down yet.
Well, I'll tell you, actually, funnily enough, there was a Amelia Concours the other day, RM Sotheby's. There was two went through that they were talking about on one of the podcasts. You know, that 5 years ago would have been 120, 150 grand cars.
Yeah.
Went through at 60 grand
Yeah.
each.
Yeah. Did they sell though?
They sold it at 60 grand.
Yeah.
They had to let them go. Yeah, somebody let them go.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. But I think
That's the market.
But that's that's Mustang market. That's bloody Pontiac GTO market.
Yes.
Because the boomers have bought their cars.
Yes.
They've got their cars. They ain't got the money to buy any more cars.
Yeah.
The younger guys want a 70s, 80s car, and the younger guys from that want an Impreza or something,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
or a Civic.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well.
Rice burners.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, she's still beautiful no matter what they think. 100 there. So
Yeah.
X300. This, you know, obviously that was the best of the latest car. I mean, it still had that sort of.
Yeah, they had that updated look, and that's still that XJ look
Yeah.
of the Series 3. So I suppose they were riding on the coattails, but they got the drivetrain right.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, a six-cylinder inline, same sort of thing, and they put the four-speed gearbox with lock-up tool converter.
Yeah.
And a comfortable interior and a good riding car.
Sure.
And these were the most popular,
Right.
and probably the best one they've produced.
Yeah. And is it getting a bit of a following at all? Do you think?
I think people will still pay good money for a good X300.
Right.
Yeah.
Oop.
You can
Triple
tell
nine
we
something.
pull a few apart
Right.
for spare parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're a great car.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. God, is that seat? Is this a long long wheelbase one?
This is a long
I was gonna
wheelbase,
say,
yeah.
Look at that. Look at that
The room
leather.
in the back seat,
You don't see many Jaguar.
like a limo, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, blimey, that's worth having, isn't it? Does it affect the handling much?
No,
That length?
no. They're a cruising car anyway.
Yeah,
They're not a race car.
Oh, that sounds good, doesn't it? So, how much Ford went into this?
Oh, not much into this car.
Right.
Mainly into the newer models.
Like the bigger,
Yeah.
taller XJ.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right, let's go next door. Oh. Over in the corner. So these are just here to be pulled apart, I guess, these ones.
These are again just pull aparts. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need parts for cars, so we may need a VVT gear or something like that out of these later things.
Yeah.
But this one here is a Broadspeed replica. This was a car that was one of my competitors when we raced XJs in a class.
Oh, tell me more.
Yeah, a bunch of us got together out of the Jaguar Car Club of Victoria,
Yeah.
and we got them in, and we used to sit down and race them together.
Right.
And you do time trials and things like that with them.
Yeah.
And they were pretty quick cars,
Yeah.
great handling cars. And we used to hit at Phillip Island of the main straight.
Right.
We'd do quite well. I had mine with a 5-speed gearbox in it.
Yeah.
This has got the 5-speed as well.
Oh,
This used to be the 2-door.
So this is the V12 XJC.
No, this is a 6-cylinder
Right.
XJ race car. So what we
Right.
did is we moved the B pillar back.
Yeah.
We moved the B pillar back enough to not engage the roll cage,
Yeah.
and lengthen the doors and turn it into a 2-door.
Oh, wow.
That's just the owner's request.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he wanted it painted in the original colours.
Yeah, yeah.
The blue's a bit bright, but we didn't organise the painting of the car.
Right.
That's the Broadspeed wing,
Yeah.
which we got
Someone's going over.
off another chap who has one of the original Broadspeeds and took a mould.
Took a mould from it,
Yeah.
right, okay. And he's left a left the walnut in there. So.
Yeah, when we XJ raced, there was stipulations we had to have, and they were only allowed to run road tyres and that sort of gear on the XJs. And there was about 15, 16 cars that used to all race with the Jaguar Car Club.
Excellent.
Winton,
Excellent.
Phillip Island, different places.
Oh, right.
And it was good fun.
Yeah,
It
how
good
long ago
fun.
was this?
Oh, there's still some around now that still run with the JCV.
Yeah.
But we probably did it 8, 9 years ago, 10 years ago.
Oh, right. So it's
And it
up on
ran for-
YouTube. I might have to have
But you can
video.
look up XJ Sprinting
Yeah.
on YouTube. I think it's on there.
All right. I have to have a little dig around.
It was channel 39 or what it was.
31. Yeah.
31,
Oh, they used to run it.
picked
Then,
up.
did they? Oh,
They picked it up
excellent.
one time. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Well, and so what's to do? I mean, is this been done for this, or has this come back in now? For
No, it's just come
the
back in from it being an XJ Sprinter.
Right.
This chap also has a TWR XJS
Oh wow.
replica. I
Yeah,
think you saw that last time you came in.
Yes. Yes.
And he's got that. He just recently ran that at the Bathurst, and that went quite well.
Yeah.
So he wants us to do this up as the replica.
Yeah.
We've got the wheels and everything for it in another box, but we haven't had time to get onto it yet.
Okay.
And he's just storing it here at the moment.
Lovely. Lovely. Okay.
We've done a lot to it. We modified all the wheel arches and did all the body work on it.
Yeah.
My brother is a panel beater, and he did all that work on it.
Right.
Jeff Wheeler. Thanks, Jeff.
Lovely. Cool. So that's good. I'd be interested to hear how this one. So, and what engine's this one going to have on?
This has got a straight
It'll
six.
stay with the straight
Yes.
six. Right. Okay.
And it
How do they
develops
perform
about.
on the track together then? Between the V12 and the.
I think the
straight
six-cylinder would keep up with the V12
Yeah.
on a shorter track.
Yeah.
If you had somewhere long, straight, like Bathurst, I don't think it would cope there. The XJS V12 would pass it there.
Yeah.
Top speed of about 240 k's
Right. Which is in real
miles
money?
per hour. You got me.
That's right.
I'm kilometre man now.
That's a bit. Yeah. That's quite tall, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, Phillip Island was the scariest bit in one of these on road tyres. I did it for 15 years, and I never had any major accidents. Always had a few scares, but never any major happened to me.
Okay.
But Phillip Island was getting scarier and scarier because my car had 300 horsepower at the back wheels, with running a Tremec 5-speed.
Yeah.
And at 240 and you take turn one on road tyres, it's a pretty scary situation to be in. You start off inside of track and you end up the outside of track. No fault of your own.
All right, mate.
Just got to keep it straight.
Lovely. All right, Brian, I'll have to let you get back to work. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
And yeah, well, I'll give us a shout when there's some other new stuff in.
Well, we've got another replica coming in, which is you'll enjoy that one, and I'll give you a shout when that comes
Lovely.
in.
Great stuff.
All
Thank you
right.
very much.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
mate. Thank
Good
you.
on you.